All right, welcome to the latest episode of Five on the Floor on the Five Reasons Sports Network. Thanks for joining us on your favorite podcast app, on Apple Podcasts, on Android, Spotify, or the Five Reasons YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe to Off the Floor, link right here in the description. Bypass the Apple upcharge, pay $2.99 a month, cancel at any time for the most heat anywhere. This thing goes 24/7. Trust me, this is where you want to be having the heat conversations. So check out Off the Floor. Also, check out our great sponsors, our friend Mark and his team over at U Break Wheel Fix. That's with a U at the start, ubreakwheelfix.com. Based in North Miami. They had to move to a bigger shop because we've sent so many people there. Get your wheels fixed, get them refinished, and get certain colors that you may want to get there also. So check it out. We'll be talking about that today. ubreakwheelfix.com. Mention Five Reasons, and you get 5.5% off your entire order. And now, today's episode. All right, welcome back to Five on the Floor. Here's today's floor plan. I'm Ethan Skolnick. You can follow me at Ethan J. Skolnick at Five Reasons Sports. And with his vinyl behind him, we've got Michael McCullough, Executive Vice President of the Miami Heat. Big announcement today at 10 a.m. today. Already they're starting to sell Original Vice is back. So we got the opportunity here to talk to Michael. Always appreciate his time on these kind of things. And this is something I know that fans are excited about because they've been calling for it for a long time. And I want to start there because you hear these calls, obviously. You are not immune from what's out there on social media and in other ways, but it doesn't mean that something can just be done, right? So could you go through kind of the process of why you wanted to bring this back, why the organization wanted to bring this back, and why it took longer than maybe fans would have liked, but now here we are.
Yeah. So first of all, thank you for having me on. As always, love chatting with you. I'm not going to get into the weeds because I don't want to bore everybody with the machinations of what happens with uniform design and bringing a uniform to life. Basically, if you go back to the first year of the City Edition campaign in 2018, we dropped the first Vice uniform, which really kind of set the stage on what the City Edition was supposed to be. That particular uniform outsold all other 2019 City Edition uniforms combined, and really set the uniform world on fire and gave us a whole separate identity to play with now with the new color scheme and everything else. Since that was the first year, no one really knew what to expect. We didn't go super deep into ordering. We still ordered far more than everybody else, again, in the NBA combined. But that uniform sold so quickly, and we weren't able to get back into it. So it's kind of a unicorn in that, it sold worldwide. But because there were so few available by our standards, you don't see it that much. Whereas you might see some of the other City Edition versions quite more frequently, like if you come to a game than you do this one. So for us, almost as soon as that uniform dropped, and while the other Vice uniforms were playing out, we started talking with the NBA and with Nike about opportunities to bring back the original white Vice uniform. Um, I don't like to say that we were fighting with Nike and the NBA. We were working with them in a very aggressive manner to try to bring this uniform back. It's not the easiest thing to do. It did take quite some time for us to kind of break through the ice to allow them to allow us to bring it back. And once we kind of got the okay, then it was the process of production and laying out a schedule and everything else. So we used the 2 year mark. This has really been like 4 or 5 years in the making. Once we got the okay from the NBA, that's kind of where the 2 year clock actually starts. So none of this happens fast. Nike's a huge company, and to try to squeeze something in that doesn't fit the rest of the program was a challenge for us.
So let's get into that specifically because it's back, and just to be clear on what's back, because you had a number of Vice campaigns. So this is the original Vice, and let's start with it's going to be worn for the first time again on Friday night against Denver. You've got a couple of home games coming up this weekend. How many games are we seeing? What jersey is it replacing? And again, again, where can I guess right now everybody can get it everywhere, right? So Heat Store, all of that, it's going to be back in the retail space. But how often are they wearing it? What jersey is at least going away for the rest of this year?
Okay, so good question. So yeah, so what we're bringing back is the original white Vice uniform. No change whatsoever, except to the jersey patch partner that we have now with Robin Hood. Everything else is the same. Okay, so there's no color flip or anything like that. What it's doing is basically, we heard our fans loud and clear, and our fans wanted us to bring this jersey back. They said, "Hey, please make it your official jersey." Now we're not doing that. But what we are going to do for the rest of this season is the white Vice uniform is going to replace our association white uniform. So that's our traditional white Heat uniform. It's really going to be replaced by the original Vice uniform. So that for us is going to be 20 wearings between home games and road games. So you're going to see this uniform 20 times. And, knock on wood, we hope that this would be the white uniform that we would wear at home during the first couple rounds of the playoffs. If should we make it to those rounds?
So again, and that replaces the association. So for those who don't know which the association jersey is, which one is that?
That's the white uniform. White, heat
Okay.
across the front. That's our traditional white
Mm,
uniform, which
okay.
some people
So
would
that
call our home uniform.
right, I got you. And the decision to go with the original Vice, because you had some other colorways that were also popular. Why did you guys decide on this one?
Well, again, that original Vice uniform was in and out of the marketplace really quickly. And
Hmm.
again, you kind of got to go back to 2018. It's the first year of City Edition. And again, honestly, between us and the NBA and Nike, nobody really knew what to expect. I think we all knew like we had a great idea and there was a great concept about, kind of creating a uniform that's hyper local to your market that, maybe only your market gets and nobody else does. But we also knew that, this new colorway was going to be something. Again, keep in mind, like we've always been traditional, red, black, and white.
Hmm.
Hardest working, toughest, meanest, nastiest team in the NBA. Like that look had been there from, the inception of the franchise. So here we were introducing a whole new color scheme with white, pinks, and blues that really fit our city and our area, but hadn't been associated with our club before. So, again, we went in pretty deep with the ordering. But the response was so overwhelming that we ran through it so fast that like again it was in and out in a matter of days. We were sold out, and it's not like we ordered small quantities. We ordered a lot. Again, we outsold all the other teams combined, so we ordered a lot. It just was so popular that it went really quickly. So we knew right away, like if we ever have a chance to get into another Vice uniform after this run is done, that's the one we wanted to bring back.
All right. When we come back here, we're going to get into what else comes with this because it's not just the jersey; it's a campaign. Before we do want to mention another great sponsor of the Five Reasons Sports Network, our friends over at Water Cleanup. You can find them at Water Cleanup of Florida. That's WCUFL.com. Michael Robert and his team will take you through the entire process. If you have a leak in your home, all the way through fixing it. If they can't do the job, they're honest contractors. It's hard to find those. Many reports of that. They can't do the job. They will let you know, refer you somewhere else. But most jobs they can handle from Boca Raton all the way down to the Keys. Check them out. It's Michael Robert and his team at WCUFL.com. That's Water Cleanup of Florida. And as we say here, if you've got the schmutz, they got the guts. So this is not just one thing. It's not just the jersey. I'm assuming, I mean, I've seen it already, so now I know. The video, right? That will be at every game. So you've got a new intro video connected to this. And then the court. People ask about the court.
Yeah, so new intro video that we dropped online today, so everybody can check that out. We're super excited about it. Very Miami feel. The guys look badass. That's exactly what we were trying to accomplish. We have a new court, and again, keep in mind, back in 2018, when we first dropped Vice, there was no Vice court. We
Mm-hmm.
played that. We played those games in that white uniform on our traditional Heat court. So the
Mm-hmm.
first Vice court didn't come until the next season when we dropped Vice Knights, the black uniform. So the white uniform never got played on a Heat court. So we're actually bringing back a different Heat court, Vice court. Again, pinks and blues, throughout the color scheme. The word Heat in the end zones in pink, but it's different look than the first Vice court. So there's something new there. And then just a ton of really great content that we shot with the players way back in October when we had our internal media day. So people always ask the question, like, geez, like, when did you shoot that stuff and all
Mm,
that other sort of stuff? All this stuff is shot back in October when we get our
yeah.
couple of days with the players. So it's not like we just shot this stuff last week. And it's not like,
Mm,
I saw something else, people are asking or questioning like the timing of
mhm,
all this. Like,
mhm.
I just told you, like, we've been working on this literally for like 4 or 5 years.
Well, I
This
tried
is
to
not
clarify that in a tweet, Michael, because you knew and we knew when we had these discussions, and obviously other reporters referenced that there's something else going on right now, that potentially on Friday, and I just want to explain, and it's good to have you here to do this. I mean, you guys are to a certain degree siloed in this situation. You guys do what you do, basketball operations. It does what it does, and it all kind of comes together. But additionally, like these campaigns don't happen overnight. Like this is not like squirrel vice jerseys. Like that's not how this works, although that's how some fans seem to perceive it. This has been coming for a while, and like you said, there's 20 dates that have been set up for this. It's always been this Denver game, right? Like that. How long has it been the Denver game that you were going to
well,
relaunch this?
exactly. And I'll correct you with one thing. Like we really are not siloed.
Okay.
We don't do anything with uniforms and schedules without working very closely with basketball ops. So again, when we start this process 4 years ago, we told basketball ops like, "Hey guys, we want to try to bring this back. We're going to work with Nike and we're going to work with the
Mm.
NBA." When we finally got it done, so we are not a rogue marketing department.
No, I'm not
Um,
saying you're wrong, Michael. But what I'm getting at is it's not like basketball ops comes to you and goes, there's something going on over here. You probably heard about it. Do something, right? Give
yeah,
us some cool looking jerseys. Like
yeah,
that's what I mean. That's what I mean by silo. Not that you
yeah,
have no communications with Pat and the Arisons
yeah.
and everybody else who's involved on that side. But
Yeah,
this is
we are not trying to throw up a distraction to get everybody to turn their head and look over here. Again, when the schedule comes out in August for all the teams, the first thing that we actually do is we make the uniform schedule, and
um,
I sit down. Jared Edelstein in my department, we sit down with Rob Pimentel.
mm,
Rob, he's our equipment
yes.
manager. We don't
Mm-hmm.
do anything without Rob because Rob's the guy who's got to pack the jerseys on the uniforms on the road. So if
Mm-hmm.
Rob's not happy with something, we're going to hear about it. So again, just to tell you how we're not siloed, like we don't do anything without Rob when it comes to uniforms and scheduling.
Mm-hmm.
So again, August, the schedule comes out. We map out the entire year, and again, telling people how the sausage is made. The NBA
Mm-hmm.
has this thing called locker vision. So we go into locker vision and we put our home games in. So all the teams put their home dates in first. Then once the home dates are settled, then we get the road games. And then basically we have to react on the road to what the home team is wearing. So that's why, there might be a bunch of games where we have to wear, a white uniform at home on the road because the home team's wearing a dark uniform. So, then this is, it's very much like Tetris. When you're reacting to what the other team is wearing, you have to do that. So again, this is in August. And then once those things are done, they're baked. Like that's it. You don't make a lot of changes. The NBA
Right.
doesn't want change, and you can't make changes because it impacts
Mm-hmm.
the road team. Because
Right.
again, the road team has their Rob Pimentel. They're on a 3, 4, 5 game road trip. They got their uniforms packed. And it's not like I can say, hey guys, let's go ahead and change our uniform. Hey, road
Right.
team, you're supposed to bring a dark uniform. You didn't? Guess what? You're screwed. It doesn't work that
Right.
way.
Right. And so again, it's not affected by some of the other things that we talk about. And look, intro videos can always be edited if they need to be, as we know, and then have been in the past. All right, Michael. So just to sum this up, and again, this is relaunching here on Friday. It's in the stores already. How big is? I guess I'll finish with this. So in other words, people are already jumping on this. Lorenzo had mentioned, some of the numbers that have already come out in the first couple of hours. But I mean, would you consider this to be limited supply? Would you consider this how? Because again, you said the last time there was kind of a limit on what you guys could order, even though you ordered more maybe than was expected. Like, where does that stand?
No, it's not a limited supply,
Mm,
but it's this year only. Like that
okay.
that is our parameters here. Is the remainder of this season. So as you mentioned, it's on sale everywhere at the Miami Heat store. All of our 4 local stores. at Dolphin Mall, Pembroke Lakes Mall, Dadeland Mall, Miami International Airport, online. It's everywhere. So, no one should have an excuse as to, like, I can't get my stuff. In addition to the uniform and the jerseys, though, like, we've got over 300 other Vice items. We go deep into this. Court Culture has its own specific collection. So like we pulling out all the stops here. We're super excited about this. We've been, again, planning this for 4 years to make it happen. The last 2 years have really been in depth with really kind of how we're going to bring this to market. And you're seeing all that happen today from all the content that we're dropping, the intro video. There's more and more and more that will be coming, but we're psyched about it. And we're happy to bring back what our fans have been asking us for.
All right. Well, Michael, we appreciate it. Always appreciate you joining us here, Executive Vice President Michael McCullough of the Miami Heat. So the Vice jerseys, you'll be seeing them on Friday night. If you needed one more reason to go to that game, now you have one. We'll be back with more
episodes. You
episodes.
can have 5 more reasons.
You know what? You want to work for us? I need a marketer. I seriously do. I do all this stuff for myself, and basically it's whatever I decide at like 11:13 in the morning. I don't plan things since August, Michael. I don't plan things since August. I plan things since last hour. But yeah, we'll have that conversation. I can't afford you. There's no way. Michael McCullough, Executive Vice President of the Miami Heat. Thanks again for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Ethan. Take care.
All right.